Hi, I'm Phyllis, southernfrugal.com. We have got a lot of new subscribers on the channel, so I want to do a green smoothie this morning and kind of talk about it a little bit. So we have been having green smoothies pretty much every morning for the last 2 years. It'll be I think in January. And of course we have seen a dramatic increase in our energy and our strength too. And so my husband and I are both in our 70s, and so we are looking for all the strength and energy we can get. But I want to start out by saying that a lot of the ingredients that I put in smoothies, like the orange juice, I go ahead and juice all my oranges and freeze them. Now I buy a lot of stuff at the farmer's market, so I get like a big bushel box of things. I also use almond butter that I make myself, and I get the almonds now from Sam's Club. I also use the medjool, I think they're called, dates to sweeten the smoothie, and I also get those at Sam's Club. I used to get from nuts.com, but now I get them from Sam's Club. Now if I can get anything reasonable organic, that's what I do, but if I can't, get it for a reasonable price, then I just go with regular. I also get a lot of the fruits from Walmart frozen. So strawberries, blueberries, and these are mangoes. Now I also buy my bananas in bulk at the farmer's market. We've got a place, they call it the Banana Shack, and these would be the same exact bananas you buy at the grocery store, but they're not all bruised up in any way. So I get those and I freeze them right in the peeling. Let me show you what they look like. And I put them down in some water, just maybe barely warm water, when I take them out of the freezer to thaw them out. And now the peeling turns dark, but the inside of the banana is just fine, except of course it's going to be mushy, which works out really well. Pour that water out. It works out really well when you're making smoothies. So this morning we're going to have kale. Now I like kale better than any of the other greens just because I think we get more energy when we have kale, but you do want to vary your greens a little bit. So sometimes we have spring mixed greens. Sometimes we have spinach, but more often we have kale than any other kind. Now I like to buy it fresh, but sometimes I will go ahead and just grind it up in the Vitamix and put it in ice cube trays and freeze it. And I've got some in the freezer now in case I can't find any pretty kale at the grocery store. Alright, so to do the greens in the Vitamix, now you can do it in a blender, but a Vitamix of course would be a lot better because it's got a much more powerful motor. So all I do, let me tell you this first. So what I do when I get it home is cut the end off like you're cutting the ends off of flowers you've bought or picked, and put it in water, and if they're the least bit wilted, they'll just perk right back up. So I just break that up a little bit. Now I use stems and all because the stems are very nutritious also. And just break it up, put it down in the Vitamix. Now, to kill the taste of the greens, and by the way, you can use collards, turnip greens, really any kind of green you want. But what kills the taste of those greens in the smoothie is the orange juice. And you really, really want to get some fresh orange juice, or you can use, you can use lemon juice, you can use lime juice, you can use tangerine juice, you can use grapefruit juice. But anyway, you want it fresh or fresh frozen. You don't want it homogenized because that's going to kill the enzymes in it and make them ineffective in killing the taste. Because if you just buy regular orange juice at the store, believe me, I've tried it. It won't kill the taste of the greens like the fresh will. Alright, so we do the almond butter. I grind roast the almonds a little bit first, and then I grind it up. I've got to where I've started using my food processor, and then I dump it into the Vitamix to finish grinding it up using water. that you know, a little bit of water. That way you can freeze it and it'll come right out of the ice trays. If you don't add water, if you add like oil or something, it won't come out of the ice trays. It just kind of sticks in there. So anyway, the little ice tray compartments hold 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8 tablespoons of almond butter with a little water mixed in, and I'm using 4 dates. Also, I try to use fresh stuff when I can get it. So this morning I'm going to also use 1 apple. Now this was a large apple and I peeled it earlier, so it's kind of got a little oxidation on it, but that doesn't hurt a thing. And then I either try to have carrots or even sweet potato, cooked sweet potato, or you could do it raw to get something orange or yellow in the mix here. So now I'm going to dump in the blueberries. Let me turn it down so you can see what I'm doing. Alright, so there are the blueberries, strawberries, and of course you can certainly use any other kind of berries. The raspberries are particularly good. And using the mango. Now sometimes when I use mango and pineapple, I use some fresh ginger, which is super, super tasty. Alright, so now for the bananas. All I do, this is kind of my own technique here. So what I do is just cut off, can y'all see? Nope, you can't see. Now you can. Alright, I just cut them off like that, and then just take it and squeeze the top out. And then let me turn it up so you can see how I do this. And we're going to have to mash this down. So then I just take a hold of the bottom of the banana, and just, it comes right out, and all the strings are gone. They stay in the banana peeling. See, it comes right out. Now there's still a little bit frozen in the middle, but you see there are no bruises whatsoever on them because I got them at the farmer's market in their original box. Nobody had handled them other than the person who put them in the box from whatever country. Alright, so now we're going to mix this up a little bit, and I'm just going to mix it a little bit to get it to go down. What I do now is fix enough for 2 days. And so this is 64 ounces, and I actually have it up higher than the 64 ounce level, which is right here. I try to get it almost all the way to the top. So I'm going to turn it on low, the Vitamix, just to get it to go down a little bit. Alright, now we're going to put in some peanut butter. See, I've almost used this whole thing. And I usually put in, I don't know, anywhere from 2 to 4 tablespoons of peanut butter. And that's just for the extra added protein. 7 grams in 2 tablespoons. So, and it will carry us a lot longer. Now my guess is that's about 4 tablespoons right there. Just put that right in at the top. I usually try to put it in the middle so it don't get all on the sides of the Vitamix. And that's all we put in. Now the dates are going to sweeten it without adding sugar. However, sometimes when I just, the only fruit I'm using is strawberries, I actually have to put in some sugar because it becomes really sour. So don't be afraid to put in sugar if you need it, or maple syrup, or whatever kind of syrup, or whatever kind of sweetener you want. Alright, so I'm going to have to mash this down a little bit. And we have got one other ingredient I'm going to put in. And that's going to be the oatmeal and cream of wheat. Let me show you this. I'll move you in closer. Alright, so this is oatmeal and cream of wheat cooked together. And I don't know why I cook it ahead of time. I just do. Well, I do know why too, and I'll explain that in a minute. So this is about 10 cups of oatmeal and cream of wheat that have been cooked. So that would, I don't know what the exact amount is. I got it on another video. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is put a big tablespoon of that in. A big spoon like that, about that much, right in the top there. And then we can see if we can get this lid on and get this ground up. Now, I usually cut off the camera when I'm grinding up the, let me back y'all up now. When I'm grinding it up, because several people, when they're watching videos, they said it's real loud, so I try to cut the camera off. So we're going to cut the camera off and grind this up. But first let me explain about the oatmeal. I actually freeze that too for convenience, and the way I do it is just take a big blob of it, put a bunch of them on the cookie sheet just like this, and put them in the freezer, and they'll just freeze, and then they thaw out pretty quick because they kind of flatten out, and that will give us a whole grain. Alright, we're ready to start grinding this up, so we'll be right back. Alright, we got it all ground up, and it's all the way up at the top of this little beaker, and that will be enough for us to have a big smoothie this morning, and then I'll freeze the other, what's left over in 2 ice trays. So, alright, the other thing I added was 2 cups of distilled water or filtered water, and so there you have it. Now I'm going to give it a real quick little taste. Okay, I had a viewer write in and say, I don't think you've ever tasted of a smoothie you didn't like, and that's pretty much true. It's always good. Once in a while I'll have one that I don't like as well, but most always, we like them always. Alright, so there it is, 64 ounces. Just pour it into the glasses. And at the same time when we have our smoothies is when we take our daily vitamins with the smoothie every morning. Alright, so I've got that much left, which will go in ice trays. Well, let me get the ice trays and I'll show you that too. Hold on. Alright, I got my ice trays, so I'm going to just pour this in the trays. And I just put it in the regular refrigerator freezer, and then the next morning I put it in a gallon plastic bag, sit it down in a bowl of warm water, and it falls out in about 20 minutes. Real easy. So I simply make enough for 2 days of the smoothies, so I don't have to do them every day. I used to do them every day, but I finally got smart, y'all. I did. Alright, let's give it a taste again. Plenty sweet because of the dates. They are super sweet. I think there were 4 dates I added this morning. And again, you can't taste the kale at all. And really, when you use spinach, like the baby spinach, you really don't taste the spinach at all either. But the kale, to me, and collards are the hardest green taste to cover up. Now, I've also used broccoli also. That works pretty good too. And with the broccoli, just cut off that little bottom part of the stem where it's kind of dried up, and just use the stem and all. If you've got a Vitamix, it'll grind it right up. Alright, so what I'm going to do then, on the bottom of this video where it says show more, I'm going to give a reference to another video I did, and under that video I've listed all the different ways I make the almond butter, the freeze the oatmeal and the cream of wheat, and do the oranges and all that. It won't be under this video, it'll be under the video I reference from this video. Does that make sense? Anyway, if you look at that video and then look under show more, you'll see all those videos listed where I tell you how I freeze everything to do with the smoothies. Okay, that's about it this morning, so we will see y'all next time. And welcome to all these new subscribers. I'm really happy to have you, okay? See you next time. Bye for now.